Hey guys, this is Dave. Welcome back to Just the Watch. And today we've got some straps from Vario that we're going to check out. And these are Cordura watch straps. And I didn't know anything about Cordura before doing this review. But after taking a look, I think it's really cool stuff. Let's check it out. Okay, so I have two different types of straps from Vario. They sent me their single pass strap, which is available now on their site, and then their two-piece straps, which should be released sometime later this month, so pretty soon. And both of them are really cool. They actually, the base material is the same, but just it's a two-piece versus one-piece. And the two-piece ones, they have this kind of oiled leather on the edges there, and it gives it a really different look, and we'll see how it looks on there. So I've also got some watches. We'll try it on in a minute here. But before we do, I want to talk a little bit about Cordura fabric and what this is made of, and take a look at these straps and just get a feel for what Vario is offering. Okay, so let's start with the single pass strap here. So you can see that Vario has used kind of Zulu style hardware, so really tough and durable looking, really thick solid rings here with the Vario branding on the buckle, very subtle there that you can see. You've got some good stitching going around it, and then I really like what they've done here. So they put these rivets in there to keep it from fraying or anything. So there's just a really overall tough look to the strap and to the fabric, and it looks super durable. I mean, with Cordura, as we'll talk about when we get the macro shots and things, this should be a strap that'll last you a long time. On the underside, they backed it with cotton. So this is kind of a cotton backing that they have here, which does make it pretty comfortable on the wrist. So it's a little bit more comfortable than the Cordura upper. The two-piece ones are a little bit more complicated. So you get quick release spring bars under here, which is great. It makes it really easy to swap in and out. And then you've got this kind of oiled leather accent on it, which looks really cool. Well, when I get on some watches, I'll show you guys how it looks. But this really adds a lot to it. It kind of gives it more of an old-fashioned vintage look. You can see the Cordura has kind of a canvas look to it. It looks like a typical canvas. And so that canvas and leather is just a really classic look that I think goes great with dive watches. It goes great with any kind of outdoorsy sort of watch. I think just gives it this sort of old-fashioned vintage outdoor look, and then the Zulu accents and Zulu hardware kind of, I think, plays into that well. All right, so let's get the macro out and see what we can see on these straps. Okay, so here's the Cordura upper weave on here. So this is a nylon fabric, and it's, Cordura is supposed to be specially tested for being abrasion and tear resistant, and then also water repellent, stain resistant, so kind of all the perfect sort of thing you would use for watches. Now, it looks like canvas. It has a very nice canvas look, so if you like the look of a canvas strap, this will do it. But this should be much more durable than a canvas strap. So it should be resistant to abrasion. So if you scratch it or rub it, or just taking it on and off through the buckle, if you're putting it on and off like this, often the scratching of the metal against it should just cause it to last a lot longer than your typical canvas strap. But the look is going to be very similar to a canvas looking strap. Likewise, it's also supposed to be breathable. So again, just a really great choice for a watch strap. I don't know why people haven't thought of it sooner, but I guess they're starting to catch on, and that's probably why. You can see Vario has also done a really good job with these rivets on here. So really solid hardware and great look. Yeah, so you can see a pretty good beading on there. It is soaking up a little bit of water, but it does have pretty good water resistance, and you can kind of see the individual thread count in there. So again, this is 1000 denier, which is really heavyweight Cordura. They make really lightweight stuff too. So this is going to be heavier, but again, this is the kind of thing that you would typically see in like shoes or backpacks or luggage. So really strong stuff. It's the sort of stuff that would be used in the military. And again, the main point here is longevity and durability and resistant to abrasions and all kinds of stuff that that a watch strap would oftentimes come in contact with. So again, I think really great material that they've chosen here. So next what I want to do is take this and soak the strap, and we'll let it soak in and give it a good soaking, and I want to feel how it feels on the wrist. So, using this as a dive strap, particularly a single pass one, I think is something that you can get away with. The only concern I would have is for that cotton backing, because cotton doesn't always do the best with constant soaking and use like that. So it may not be designed primarily as a dive strap. Obviously, having a metal strap or a rubber strap, or even just a full nylon strap like a NATO strap is probably going to give you better underwater performance. But this is something that I think you can probably get away with using it in a dive strap from time to time. So I let it soak through, and after I was done, I put it on the wrist, and it felt pretty good. It didn't sometimes you put a strap on the wrist, especially a heavier one like this, it just kind of feels like having a wet rag wrapped around your wrist. This one was still really comfortable. It felt very similar to like a NATO, how a NATO would perform with being wet, and it dried fairly quickly too, so I was pretty impressed with that. So I don't know if they're billing this as something that you should use in diving or as a dive strap, but with the style of it and the material that they've used, it seems like it's okay for water use. It's it's the kind of thing I wouldn't hesitate to use it for that. Okay, let's go ahead and put these on the watches and see how they look. So I'm going to pair this one, the black one, up with this Laco Navy watch, which I think is a great fit. Getting that Cordura canvas and then that leather, I think is just a really great look to it. So again, you've got quick release spring bars on this, so super easy to put on there. And overall, just a really great look. I think this looks fantastic with this watch, the black matching the black case, and I just think the overall style really fits this kind of vintage look. And it's just, you've got the kind of Zulu thing. Everything pulls together really well with this sort of Laco Navy Casablanca watch. And one of my favorite looking straps with it. I just love how the leather plays with the vintage look of the watch. It just gives a little touch of class to it. So really cool look there. Likewise, I think these are a great match for aviation style watches, and this really gives the Nighthawk a lot of personality. You're going from the metal bracelet that has like kind of a really kind of modern, very cold military aesthetic to something a little bit more warm and old-fashioned, and I think it just looks great as well. But again, you get that really tough hardware, this tough fabric and leather, gives it a lot of great accents. So a really cool look for the sort of vintage or aviation style pieces. So I really like these two-piece straps. I think it's just a really cool look, and it's very unique. I haven't seen this style come together like this, where you get this kind of little bit of leather and canvas mixed together. It's just a really nice looking strap, and one of my favorite designs that I've seen. If you want to take your watch and give it this kind of different personality and different look, I think this is a great option for that, and I'm really looking forward to Vario releasing these, and I think these ones are going to be pretty popular. So if you're looking for something like this to kind of give your watch this sort of old-fashioned feel, and yet also something that's really durable and long-lasting, I think this is going to be a great option. All right, let's take a look at the single pass one. So you see, because the material is so thick, and then especially because of these rivets here, you can't install this like a NATO. So you can't put the spring bars on and then slide this through. The rivets are going to get caught on that. So you have to kind of put the watch on first and then sort of fold it over and install the spring bars. Which actually isn't too bad. You can kind of do it by hand if you're with a little bit of practice. And there you go. So this one, I feel like it gives it a much more modern look. It's kind of interesting to have that sort of thick single pass, but because the fabric is so thick, the watch doesn't slide around at all. It's very secure on there. But yeah, really cool aesthetic. It's just a very different look, but even though the straps are getting the same material, the same hardware, because of the single pass, it's just a very different look. It doesn't add too much thickness. It's only one layer of fabric going underneath. And again, pretty comfortable on the wrist. So there were two minor issues that I've had with the strap. For the most part, they're extremely comfortable, but sometimes where the buckle comes down here on the wrist, I did find just a little bit of irritation. I think that's the kind of thing that the strap, once it wears in, it'll soften up a little bit, and it's probably just some of the canvas is really fresh and a little bit stiff still. So I imagine the comfort will ease up on this. The other thing is that because the thickness of the material and the styles, they couldn't put a floating keeper on the second hand, so this keeper is anchored here. So depending on the position of it, if it's like this, it usually holds the strap in pretty good, but a lot of times it'll get knocked this way, and then you get a little bit of a tail on the strap depending on how loose you have it. These straps are pretty large, so it'll accommodate a wide range of wrists, but if you have a smaller wrist, you might wind up with kind of a lot of straps sticking out of the end there. So if that's something that annoys you, it could get caught on things, but I can't really think of much they could have done other than have a tailored strap where the size is just right, because I think you kind of have to have this keeper anchored here, otherwise it's just going to not really do anything. But other than those two minor issues, I think these are just really fantastic straps and they look great. Talking about price, so the two-piece ones have not yet been released, so I'm not sure what the price is going to be, but these ones are out now and they have them listed at $32 on Vario's website, which I think is a pretty fair price for what you're getting. It's definitely not like a budget strap, but then the quality is not budget level either. Again, this is an extremely high-quality strap that I think is probably going to last a lifetime. It seems like really well-made material and hardware. So this is something that, it's going to look great and it's going to last a long time. So I think it's a little bit of an investment for some people, but $32 for a strap is about average. That's how much you would expect to spend on a decent, well-made, good strap. So definitely not expensive by any means, but also not like your super ultra cheap budget straps either. So that'll wrap up the review of these straps. Hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know what you think. If you have any experience with Cordura straps or of other sorts, let me know how they've worn in for you guys. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Talk to you next time.